Hello and welcome back to the Cellphone Philosopher episode 4. My name is Tamir Jacob, and today I'm going to be talking about risk thresholds. What are risk thresholds? Well, we have these things called comfort zones, and we're pretty scared to go out of them most of the time. Essentially, Frank McKinney, who's this really amazing real estate developer, has got great philosophy to life. You can definitely, YouTube his stuff. He's done a few talks. He's written a few books as well. Brilliant guy. And something that he talks about is you need to exercise your risk threshold like a muscle. People don't just go from, 0 to hero overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success. You need to practice exercising your risk threshold. And what that means is it's almost like a bodybuilder. So a bodybuilder doesn't go and pick up a 100-pound weight, when he's skinny and he's starting out. No, he doesn't do that. He gradually builds up over time, and he lifts, gradually more and more and more over time as time goes on. And it's the same thing with practicing taking risks. You actually need to practice this. So even when you're in a situation where, if you start off taking a $5,000 risk, then you're going to be, you kind of get comfortable with that, and then you take a $10,000 risk, and you get comfortable with that. And if you say you're investing in a property, you start with a $50,000 property. You do that, you're buying and selling $50,000 properties, go up to $100,000 properties, and then move up to 150, 200, and you build up. And before you know it, you're, taking risk with millions of dollars, and you're much more comfortable doing it because you've built it up and you built your knowledge up along the way. So that's I think a really key point. Exercise your risk threshold and practice on small things and build up as you go and get your risk threshold high, and don't be afraid to take risks. And people say don't be afraid to take risks, but it's really a skill that you make a habit of and you practice. Another thing that I want to talk about is when people come into a market, and this can be from an entrepreneurship standpoint or another standpoint. One thing that you should do as a business is you should first establish your entry. And this is what Frank McKinney said, and he's had a brilliant few points on this. It's like Tesla when Elon Musk came in. Everybody, when Elon Musk came in with Tesla, everybody wanted it because it was a luxury brand. It was kind of the electric equivalent of Mercedes. And Elon Musk didn't, start by making a car for everybody. He started making a car that only a few people could buy. To essentially build the luxury element of his brand and get people really wanting the brand. So he had the first model that he released was like a really expensive, I think it was about $150,000. It was a sports version of the car, this ridiculous, Lamborghini looking Tesla. And that was the first version of the Tesla. It was this eccentric sports car. And only then did he start saying, okay, well now I'm going to make a mid-price car, and then I'm going to make a low-price car. He essentially tiered it, but he started at the top. And that's the same thing, whether you're selling courses or you're doing anything online, you're doing online sales. You want to have a really high-end product, a medium product, and then a low-end product. So, give people a selection. But at the same time, when you first come in a market, you start at the high end to build that kind of luxury element, that draw to your brand. So people associate your brand with the luxury product. So when you release a lower tier product, people still have that association in their mind already. And he also tells this story as well of small things. Another key point is that small things, he did this talk that, he didn't really want to go to at the time. And it turned out, it was like an old age home. He's like, oh, these guys are over 70. What can I really do to inspire them? He turned up at the talk and it turned out, at the time he was having a moderate level of success. He went to this talk, did this talk, kind of begrudgingly a little bit, got out, he said, oh, it went okay. And so there was actually a reporter there, and she wrote a little story on it, which was published in the local newspaper. And another reporter saw it in the local newspaper, elevated it to a higher newspaper. And it ended up in the New York Times or the Washington Post after 6 months of people regurgitating the story. And eventually he went from that onto Oprah. So another key philosophy, actually it's pretty unrelated to the first two, is that small things can actually lead to huge things, and you might not see the connections yet. So if you have an opportunity to do something that you don't initially see value in, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, or whatever, you should really take that small opportunity, even if you can't see the value right now, because it could lead to something amazing and you just can't see the intended consequences yet. So in total, 3 key points. Small things lead to huge things. Establish your entry and exercise your risk threshold like a muscle. Make sure that it's something you're continually practicing. You're continually taking small risks, pushing your comfort zone a bit, getting comfortable, pushing it a bit more, and getting comfortable increasing your risk threshold so you can really start leveling up your business and your success level. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode and have a great day.